In this video, I'm reviewing the best podcast and live streaming microphones on the market right now. From budget picks all the way up to professional microphones, I asked the experts for their ranking and favorite mics. I'm going to share live audio demos from most of the mics, and I'm sharing everything you need to consider before buying your own. And I'm Steven Robles. I've been podcasting for 15 years, multiple shows. I've grown to millions of downloads, and my latest podcast in just over a year has reached 300,000 downloads and launched at number 20 in Apple Podcasts. And if you're new to podcasting, be sure to subscribe because we have new videos every week on gear and how to grow and monetize your show. So the first microphone on this list is the Samson Q2U. Both Alban Brook from Buzzsprout and Justin Jackson from Transistor, both excellent podcasting companies, recommended. Now the audio you're hearing right now is directly from the Samson Q2U, and this is one of my favorite microphones as well. It's under $70, comes with a little stand and all the cables you need, plus it works both with your computer or your mobile device. Now my favorite pick used to be this, the Audio-Technica ATR 2100X, but it's since been discontinued. So when it comes to budget microphones, you only have one choice, makes it easy, go with the Samson Q2U. You might want to get a windscreen like this, and that should help plosives like when you say P's and B's sound less harsh. But again, this works with your computer, mobile device, and has excellent sound for just $70. Now the next option is the Elgato Wave 3, and I asked Mike Hurley, he's one of the co-founders of Relay.fm, a massive podcast network. It's another USB mic, and he says for its simplicity, it's a great option. I actually tested the Elgato Wave 3 when I did a massive USB mic roundup. I'll link that video above and down in the description, but here's a quick example of what that sounds like. Now the sound you're hearing right now is from the Elgato Wave 3. Being a condenser microphone, you might get a nicer sound out of it, picking up more clarity and detail, but condensers are typically more sensitive. It's going to pick up more room noise, so if you have an echoey or reverby room, this might not be the microphone for you. The Elgato Wave is a good upgrade pick, $150, although I would get a stand to have it closer to your mouth. Again, most microphones are going to sound better when they're about a fist-length distance away rather than sitting on the desk and being several feet away from your mouth. Now the next microphone I'm going to personally recommend you might not have heard of, but this is the Shure Beta 87A. The audio you're hearing right now is from this microphone, and I used this for many years before upgrading to a professional level microphone. This one's about $300, so it is not inexpensive, but it has a great sound and could last you a long time. I know many professional podcasters that use this microphone by default still. This is also one of the top options from Marco Arment. He's a longtime Apple and tech podcaster, really into audio quality, and his microphone recommendation list has been one that I've referenced for years. And the Shure Beta 87A is number 2 on his list. Now the previous microphones I talked about in this video were USB microphones, so you just need one cable to connect it to your computer. But this microphone and the ones I'll be talking about subsequently are XLR. So you're going to need an XLR cable going from the microphone to an audio interface, and then the interface connects to your computer or mobile device. Now because I'm testing so many microphones in this video, I have a Vocaster 2 for this mic and another, and I'm using my Rodecaster Pro 2 for connecting multiple mics as well. If you need help deciding on an audio interface, we have videos on the channel about that too. I'll link one right up here. One other mid-range pick, Justin Jackson from Transistor.fm suggested the Mackie EM-99B. I'll be honest, I haven't used or tried this microphone yet, but it's a good price at $150. It's a dynamic microphone, meaning it should do well at rejecting room noise and echo, great for podcasting. So I'm probably gonna get this mic and test it out. So stay tuned, get subscribed for that video coming soon. But another one of Justin's picks and one of mine that you've seen in many videos is the Shure MV7. This is actually the MV7 Plus because that has a USB-C connector here. The audio you're hearing now is from the Shure MV7 Plus, and this is the microphone I use whenever I'm out of the studio. It's USB and XLR, so you have flexibility of doing both, but this has a professional sound. It's a dynamic microphone, again, helps with rejecting room noise and echo, but still reasonably priced around $300. Again, you don't need an audio interface because this does have that USB-C connector. I did an entire video on the MV7 Plus. I'll link it above and put it in the video description, but it also has great software tools, not just for adjusting volume and the sound like EQ, but for things like reducing plosives, voice isolation, and more. It also has a capacitive mute button, so if you want to be able to mute something and you have to cough while you're recording a podcast, you can just quickly tap the microphone and then tap it again to unmute yourself. I basically switch between two microphones, my number one pick, which I'm going to get to in a second, and this microphone when I'm out of the studio because it sounds great. Now this next microphone makes several lists and you've probably seen it everywhere. This is the Shure SM7b. So the audio you're hearing right now is from this classic microphone. You might have heard that this was the type of microphone Michael Jackson used to record Thriller, and pretty much any video podcast you see on YouTube, you'll see this microphone in front of their face. Now, it's a great mic, it can sound really good, but I did an entire video comparing this and my number one pick because I think this microphone is a little too fiddly, especially if you're starting out podcasting or you don't have the money to invest in lots of gear. Mostly because this is an over $400 microphone, but you're going to need multiple other pieces of tech to get this thing working. You either need a Rodecaster Pro 2, which is about $700 or $800, and that's a powerful enough audio interface to run it, but most cheaper audio interfaces in the $200 to $300 range are not powerful enough to get good volume from this microphone. So you'll likely need something like a cloud lifter if you're using a $200 to $300 audio interface, and now you're close to $1,000 in just to use this microphone. It also has some dip switches on the back, which you can use to cut low frequencies or boost the mid frequencies. In general, I find it just to be a little too fiddly. And again, it has a great sound, but for some voices, especially lower voices, it can sound a little muddy, and it's going to take applying EQ and other effects when you're editing to get it sound just right. Now, people like using this microphone because it rejects all the noise on the other side. So if you're recording with multiple people in person and these microphones are close together, it's going to really focus on just the voice in front of it. So if you record with multiple people in person, maybe that's a reason to use it. But I'll link my video here comparing it to my number one pick and why it's not my number one. So before we get to my number one pick, which 3 out of 5 experts agree it is one of the best, I will mention Mike Hurley and Marco's microphone list the Neumann KMS 105 as one of their top choices. This is the most expensive microphone I'm going to mention in this video, and it's one I don't even have. So I'm going to try to get my hands on it. Again, get subscribed if you want to see the comparison with this and some of the other microphones in this video. But Mike Hurley has been using it for years and says it's just one of the best. Also, James Cridlin from Pod News said the Lewitt RAY is one of his favorite microphones. Again, not one I have my hands on, so another video's got to come to compare all of these. But my number one pick, which Justin and Albin also agree, is the Earthworks Ethos. You're actually hearing the sound right now, and this is my default podcast mic, which I've had for several years. This microphone is much more flexible. You can use it with pretty much any audio interface. It's about the same price as the Shure SM7b, coming in at $400, but again, you can use it with even $100 or $200 audio interfaces, so you're only $500 or $600 in all the way. I also like the look of this microphone. This is like the steel look. It also comes in a black version, so if you do a video podcast like I do, it looks fun on camera, but it just has one of the best sounds, natural sounding. It doesn't take much processing or EQ in post-production to get it sounding good, and it's my current choice when I'm recording Primary Technology. That's the weekly tech podcast I do, and we record every episode with Riverside, which all of these microphones, USB, and the audio interfaces work great when you record with Riverside. You can see here when I'm joining my Riverside studio, I have all these audio devices to choose from, including the Vocaster 2 audio interface, my Rodecaster Pro 2, and USB mic show up here as well. And when me and my co-host record with Riverside, I know the quality is going to be top-notch because Riverside has local recording, meaning the audio and video is recorded locally on your computer, locally on your guest or co-host computer, and then all those high-quality video and audio files are sent to your Riverside dashboard, so you can download all those individual tracks, the high-quality video or audio. Plus, if you do any screen shares, Riverside records those in high quality too. And you see I do lots of screen shares when we record our show, but instead of downloading, I actually edit my podcast here in Riverside as well. Here in the Riverside editor, there's an entire AI producer which can help you cut down on editing time and save you hours, like removing all the silences, but based on the pace that you want. So if you want a super fast pace for social media clips or more balance for your full episodes, you can do that. You can remove all filler words with a single click. If someone recorded with a built-in mic, maybe they haven't invested in one of the mics in this video, you can actually apply Magic Audio, and that can make any microphone sound studio quality and remove that background noise and echo. And that Smart Layouts feature is going to go between both you and your other guests on screen side by side, and then focus on the active speaker so you have a multicam look all right here in Riverside. Plus you can add animated captions with just a click, maybe reformat it as a vertical video if you want to share it as a reel, and you can overlay images, video, or text, and even search royalty-free footage so you can have visually engaging content all right here done in the editor. You can record, edit, and export your content for free with Riverside. Check that first link in the description and you can try it today. And links to all the microphones I mentioned in this video are also down in the description. Now, if you wanted to see my big comparison of just USB microphones and the best ones you can get right now, check out my video on that right up here. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. We have lots of gear videos, setups if you want to upgrade your video and audio quality or even set up a whole home studio. We have videos on all of that, which if you want to see my studio behind the scenes, I did a day in the life of a podcast recording. You could check out that video right up here. I'll show you my full setup and my whole process for making my weekly video podcast. Thanks for watching. We can't wait to see what you create.